Hello Internet, I'm me, and this is Gokaiger episode 34 review. This episode is actually very interesting, and the reason I'm still in my kitchen reviewing this, if you've watched my Kamen Rider Forzen review of this week, which is episode 7, sorry y'all, the reason I'm still in my kitchen is because I'm too lazy to move. Anywho, let's get on with this review. This episode is actually... It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it. This is a Luca heavy episode, or Luca's backstory, really, and we figure out what her life goal is, which I'm gonna leave for you guys to figure that one out. And I do know, but I'm just gonna leave things for you guys to watch in these reviews now. Like in my Kamen Rider Forzen review, I left out the part where the teacher who has the discipline stick also keeps calling Kisarigi the bad boy, which is both creepy and dirty and kind of cool at the same time. But now that I'm done talking with Kamen Rider, even though I've already talked about it, this gokaiger is actually a very interesting one. It's Luca's backstory. We get to figure out what her ultimate goal is, that she has to amass a lot of fucking money to do. We actually get to see her past, and we actually get to meet somebody, a childhood friend and a businessman of hers. And this episode actually opens up with a very interesting thing that I've never thought to do. You have Luca and Doc going around, buying, I think, groceries, maybe clothes. I keep forgetting. They were bags. He was carrying them. She was walking around. What else do you need to know? And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Zengais come up. And it's like, oh, crap, here we go. Early fight. It's like only 35 seconds in. I'm cool with that. And before the fight can even commence, Luca's old friend, I don't really remember his name. He plays a very minor role in this episode anyway, comes in and actually, instead of fighting, instead of killing, instead of using a gun, just bribes them. Which actually makes a lot of sense. There's a bounty on their heads. So why not just bribe the Zengai? I mean, I know the Zengai's empire wants them dead, but more of the henchmen and the action commanders are really kind of doing it only for the bounty. Bribing them would actually get rid of them a lot quicker, wouldn't it? Huh. Anywho, he bribes the Zengais and they leave. I'm pretty cool with that. And of course, then it cuts to, it's like the reveal of, he takes off the sunglasses and goes, Luca, don't you remember me from way back when? And, then cuts to the theme. And we come back to Doc actually, on the ship, telling, all of the rest of the crew what has transpired. And pretty much, it turns out that Luca has gone with this guy trying to find her ultimate goal. And pretty much, Doc is back on the ship trying to tell them that Luca might leave. And that, maybe she won't come back. She's been looking for this dream, so who knows. And actually, what happens is the guy takes her to a warehouse. And then it turns out that the guy is actually on the floor in chains. So who's this guy? Turns out, Zengai's Action Commander. And I was like, holy crap. And, punches her in the stomach. Just that whole... I don't know if that works. I've never actually done this to anybody or seen it done to anybody. This happened before to where, somebody punches you so hard in the solar plexus that you just stop and then drop. I've never seen that actually happen in real life. But, it happens in anime and in Japanese shows all the time, so I'll go with it. But she, he punches her in the solar plex, she goes down, knocks out, chains her up, takes her form. Turns out he can transform into different people by headbutting them, pretty much like Doctor Who can transfer knowledge by headbutting people. And takes her form and then goes back to the rest of the gokaiger. And to where he thinks he fools them and tries to blow up the ship. Oh, okay, wait, he kind of does. And while this is all happening, is actually Luca and the other guy actually talking to one another about how he wants Luca to run away with him with all this money so that they can just be together again. Not in that way, but okay, maybe a little. Maybe a little. Anyway, so they could be back together again and have like the old times. And while she's explaining how what happened when she actually disappeared and how she actually met Marvelous and Joe back when it was just Marvelous and Joe, there was no Doc or Princess Aimee yet. And you know, you get this great, it's not really a great back and forth, but it's like a flashback. He tells the flashback of how things used to be when her sister was alive and when they were being attacked by the Zengeist, and that was like the last day he saw her. And well, while she completes the story, and you know, it's a very nice. I like the scene. I like it. It's very nice. It's a very good way to tell a backstory from two people's different perspectives on one person, which is very nice. Then of course the bad guy comes back up, going, "Ha! I blew up the gokaiger ship," and it's like, and you do see it blow up, so you're kind of like, "What the crap happened?" And turns out that like right before he kills both Luca and this guy, that actually no, he did not blow the ship up. It actually turned out that they knew he wasn't Luca the whole time. Why? Because Luca doesn't like broccoli. Why? I love broccoli. It tastes great. But anyway, they figure out that because Luca hates broccoli, that she is probably an imposter. And finds the bombs that he plants, she plants, and takes them, defuses them, and he actually uses the Hurricaneer mech to actually make a ninjutsu illusion that the ship is blowing up. And I'm like, that's actually pretty clever. I had never thought to use actually the whole mech to shield another mech like that. So, I liked it. And, of course, they fight, and there's funny part where they're fighting, and of course the guy in the middle of the fight, you know, headbutts Luca, copies her form, and right when that happened, my mind just went to Hot Fuzz, and it just the Hot Fuzz to a part where he goes, "Nothing like a little girl-on-girl action, eh?" And so I was, nah. But of course, it's like this whole, oh no, he's shapeshifting into the other gokaiger. How will we figure out who he is? And Luca just comes up with this kind of really nice plan. It's just Gokai change right now. It's like Gokai change. Everybody goes into Gokai change, and they actually do the Mega Ranger and have even Mega Silva. And when they henshin, the guy tries to henshin too. I mean, he does the movement and everything, but he can't henshin. And he's like, "Oh, right, I can't henshin because I don't have a morpher." And then of course they kick his ass. They kick his ass, and and I have to say something. I like the new finisher. I like the Gokai, like, Galleon Blaster thing. But can we use the final wave again? I mean, I know this show has this tendency of every time they get a new power or a new finisher, they only use that new finisher. They never use the new power, the other powers. And I'm kind of like, I just hope they don't do that every time, because that blaster actually takes a little while to charge. While I saw the final wave as an actual very quick and deadly finisher, this one's more powerful, but it's a lot more slow and kind of relies on the enemy to stand there for a little while before he gets killed, which is kind of stupid to me. But anyway, so they destroy him, and then he comes back as Giant. Now, this is what I really liked about this episode, is when they go Giant, he actually still retains his shape-shifting powers. So he shapeshifts into a building, and then just hides there. And then they turn around, and then he attacks, and then he shapeshifts back, and then they turn around, and then he attacks, and then he shapeshifts back. And it's kind of annoying, because it's like, as an audience member, you can see where he is, but they can't. And it's like, God damn it, hit that building! But you're like, wait, they can't hit just random buildings, or else they'll kill people. But then again, you're pirates. But then again, they're not pirates. But whatever. Until they figure out, and they go, oh, okay, it's this building, and strike him. He was wondering, how the hell did that happen? They're giant robots that have sensors. So they just found you. And they kill him off quickly. And then, of course, they have the final scene of Luca and her old friend final talk together. She decides to stay with the gokaiger while he goes home, which is which he has a ship inside a lake that, or ocean, I don't know really, and it just comes up and it's it's a traditional UFO thing, and it just kind of like beams him on and then goes bye, which is and it has this like nice sobering sad moment, and I'm just kind of like, huh, this was a nice episode. Honestly, this episode's an 8.5 out of 10. Not completely blowing my mind, but it's actually a high above average. But it's not completely a 9 out of 10, but it is not an 8 out of 10. It is past a solid 8 out of 10. It's an 8.5, honestly. This is a very nice episode, a very good change of pacer. It doesn't do like the other episodes where it's just breaking the mold everywhere and, making huge landmark decisions or stuff like that. It's actually just a nice character-driven episode almost, where you almost have no action. You have a pretty good plan from an action commander that almost works, if it not for that one thing, and you have all this actual character development. I like it. It's a very nice, solid episode. It's not a must-watch. It's really a filler episode if you think about it, but it's a filler episode that is actually worth watching. So, until next time, guys, where we get the John dedication episode, sit tight, have fun, comment in the section and call me a bastard for getting something wrong or whatever, like you usually do. But until then, peace.